Coach, what's been your favorite part of the season, doing these press conferences or playing on Saturdays?
Well, it's hard to top these press conferences, I will say. Probably I'll miss this more than anything. No, I think the competition on Saturday and having the kids play and seeing how they played, I was very proud of what they did Saturday. And, you know, you look at the guys on the roster and the guys who played, and, you know, a lot of those names weren't showing up at the beginning of the year, and we've had some injuries and had some other things happen. And, you know, the guys came in and they stepped up, and I will never, you know, their effort was outstanding. They played to the very end. We just couldn't get it done.
As you look at kind of the season as a whole, what is one positive you could take out of the season?
I think that we came in here to change the culture, and I think that has changed. I think that you know, players now understand what the expectations are. I met with them this morning, and I said, this time next year, I want to be practicing, because that means we're in the playoffs. And you know, my expectations are to compete for the conference championship and to get to the playoffs and compete for the national championship. And you know, you got to take steps, and it's a process to get there and a process to do it. And you know, I think we're on the right path of that process right now after the first year.
How would you grade this first season?
Overall for the team, or?
Well, for you, I mean, for coming in, knowing.
Well, we're 3-8, so I'd give me like a D-. You know, that's how I look at it. I mean, I don't expect anything, but you know, I'm used to winning and like I said, competing for championships, and we didn't do that. I mean, we can go through and, you know, put little mistakes on everybody, and I know I made my share of them, and you know, you learn from them, and you hope to not repeat them, and that's what I got to look back for myself on that, and look at our coaching staff and see exactly what we did and how we did things, and revamp some things we did, and we'll keep some things the same, but we always got to self-evaluate, and we got to be as harder on ourselves than we are on anybody else when we go through this process.
You went through a ton of injuries this year and depth factors. How do you build that depth from year one to year two?
Well, that's, you know, we're going through exit meetings now, and we'll see what players, you know, choose to stay here. I want to go through this, and then we'll hit the recruiting trail. We've already got guys that we've got pegged that we want to bring in. We want, you know, to show them what we have to sell here at West Texas, and you know, it's a great university. You get a great education here, and you know, we're trying to build this football program up to something where we are competing on a yearly basis.
You mentioned the recruiting trail last year. You got the late start on it coming in so late. Are you looking forward to being able to hit the ground running?
Absolutely. You know, we'll start hitting some places as soon as we can the Monday after Thanksgiving, when we're allowed to go out and be in the schools. And you know, I think that the coaches we have developed great relationships with their area high school coaches throughout May. A lot of coaches like what we're doing. Like the structure we have. When we go in and talk to them, this is the type of player we want, this type of character we want. A lot of coaches are looking for that. You know, it's a trust factor, you know, that a high school coach will send or push a young man towards us, and hopefully that we've established that trust, and you know, being out there and being seen and being met, and you know, we just got to keep developing the relationships we have.
Where are some of the biggest holes you think you need to fill recruiting-wise?
That's every position right now is up for grabs. I had a meeting this morning, and the first thing I said was 3-8, we're not satisfied. And if you are satisfied, you can get up and leave, because right now that's not who we are, where we want to be. So I'm stressing to these guys that there is no position set. Nobody has locked in a role for next year, and we're going to go out and recruit better players than we have in the room. And that's how you build competition. You have to. The players that are playing and starting have got to be pushed by guys underneath them, and we just don't have that right now. So that's where we've got to build to, and we won't see another team for 9 months. So we're going to be competing against ourselves in every aspect, and that's where we need to build and get better players and that are going to work just as hard as these guys have and want to compete.
You're a guy that likes to build from the ground up. Does the JUCO route go heavier for you?
It just depends. Depends on what type of player they are. Right. Are we looking there? Sure, we're looking there. We always look there. But accountability, character, those type of things are going to weigh heavy in our decisions. And you know, I want a guy that's invested in this program. And I think that there's junior college players out there, and not all of them are like this, and I'm not trying to paint a picture of this is what all of them are like, that they're just looking to go to the next place and want to get their time done and try to get on to the next level. I want guys who are committed. That's why, you know, if we got to build with junior college to get the younger freshmen into the program physically and mentally ready to play, then that's what we'll do. But, you know, we'll go through it, and we're going to find the best players, whether they're JUCO or freshman or high school.
No secret, the offense kind of struggled throughout the year. Is it just a matter of recruiting guys that fit the scheme, or does the scheme change at all going into year two?
Well, part of those struggles were, if you looked at the guys catching balls the other day, they were on our scout team about 3 weeks ago. We got hit with a rash of injuries, and again, that's no excuse. But when they haven't been used to playing, you know, it kind of messes up timing and things with the quarterbacks. And, you know, we had some issues at running back earlier in the year, and I thought we got that going. And, you know, we just got down. We moved the ball well. We did some good things. We just never finished. And I think that's, you know, when we go into spring, that's going to be a big deal for us, is practicing the red zone and finishing in the red zone. And, you know, defensively, we gave up big plays. And we take those away, and, you know, we're in a lot of games.